Hi everyone! Welcome to Lauren's Scrap Lot. My name is Lauren Urbonis, and you have found the Great North American Stamping Show, Season 6, Episode 5. Every week, my friends Lisa, Jodi, Julie, and I go head-to-head to gain your votes on a project from the Stampin' Up mini catalog that we have recreated or started from scratch, like we did last week. I'd like to give a big shout out to Jodi for taking the crown last week, and we hope that you are excited to see what we have in store this week for you. Make sure to watch my video and then all the other three, whose links are in the description. Make sure to comment on all of them. We love hearing from you, and then give us a thumbs up as well, because we appreciate your votes and contributions to crown a winner. Now I have two projects in front of me. The one on the left here is a box that I did last week on episode 4 of the Great North American Stamping Show. We were talking about the introduction of our Treasures and Traditions virtual retreat. It's kind of a retreat in a box, if you will. And I do have the registration link still available in my description below, so you can sign up with me for the full class, or you can just do the PDF tutorial as well if you're somebody who wants to buy the products on your own. So this video you can check out from last week. It will give you a start to finish little service advent calendar that I like to do with my kids. Of course, you can put anything else in this box that you'd like as well, but it gives you a really fun alternative to a chocolate advent calendar or a neat perspective on what you can do in the month of December. So speaking of traditions, I would like to highlight once again the Keeping Traditions Scrapbooking Workshop kit. This is the kit that we are basing our retreat around, but we are not making the scrapbook pages that you see. If you want to do that, you'll have to order another kit to do. What we are doing is we're taking all the pieces from this kit and we're making you a total of 8 cards, a tag, and 2 3D options from the pieces. So again, if you're in the States and you actually want the physical kit and products and gifts that we have in store for you, sign up with one of the other ladies. If you're in Canada, I can get you all set up. Those information pieces are in the description and in that registration link. And if you're elsewhere in the world, unfortunately, we can't send you the physical kit and treats, but you can sign up for our tutorial only option. And we are hopeful that you can just order this kit on your own and play along with us as you go. But of course, if you're a demonstrator or you're somebody who wants to order this on your own, then just sign up for the tutorial only option and you'll be able to recreate those projects with us. So I'm going to move my little box out of the way because you don't need it for this week. We are going to probably come back to that box at some point in life, but this is the card that I have in store for you today. So before we get started, we were supposed to share, I think, a tradition from childhood. I forgot to check the list. I'm going to suggest that that's what we're doing. So a fun little tradition that my family and I did was we would always get to open one Christmas present on Christmas Eve. My dad was from kind of the European side, and so they open all their presents on Christmas Eve. So this was a good compromise that we could always open one gift on Christmas Eve. When we were younger, it was a VHS, which my children will never know the joy of getting a VHS movie, and a set of pajamas. So for my kids now, that's what they get. We usually watch a movie together or play a game, and they get a brand new set of comfy, cozy Christmas pajamas. So they're all set for the winter. So that's my little tradition. Okay, on to our task for the week. So if you follow our series, you know that what we usually do is we pick a page from a catalog. Last season was the annual catalog. This season is the 2025 holiday catalog. So we went to page 58 this week, and we were tasked with recreating one of these 3 projects using a suite of our choice and products of our choice, but you had to get inspiration from one of these projects. So you guys can probably guess, I chose this guy down in the bottom here. I really loved the idea of using that timeless plaid embossing folder in the background and then a few decals of some sort to make my project come alive. Now I feel like I'm just having way too much fun with this keeping traditions sweet. I know we're doing that at the retreat. I know I'm doing that at my all-day retreat here at the end of October, but it's so beautiful and there's so many things to do with it. So if you haven't fallen in love with this sweet yet, I hope that these videos change your mind, because there are so many possibilities that you can do with these stamps and dies, the embellishments and accessories, and the paper. So the paper is the kicker on this card here. I took the 12 by 12 piece that has these gorgeous flower bows, and you can either fussy cut them if you don't own the bundle, or you can take the Christmas greenery coordinating die and cut those out. So you'll need 2 of them for the project. If you don't buy the whole die set, it's okay. Fussy cutting can work as well. And yeah, let's get crafting. So I've cut 2 of those, and then I did have to cut one of these flowers by hand. I'll give you all the measurements and all the tips for my card. And as always, if you have questions, just reach out. I'm more than happy to clarify anything for you. And I did list the supplies and the measurements in the description below, so you can make sure you've got everything you need. Here we go, starting with a piece of Secret Sea cardstock. We are going to cut this guy at 5.5 by 8.5. And then right here in the middle, we've got 4 1/4, so that we've made a nice card. If you have a bone folder, give it a nice quick burnish. And then always on the inside of our card, it's really helpful to have something to write on. So I did something a little bit different. I know I usually leave these blank, but I took a piece of basic white. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and I did a little bit of stamping on it before I actually put it into my card. So I went to that Christmas greenery stamp set that I had mentioned earlier, and I've lost it. There we go. Here we are. I grabbed this giant bough, and I'm going to stamp it in Secret Sea so it matches the color underneath my workspace. So Secret Sea ink all over, and then you can just use the inside of your card as your scrap, because you're going to cover this up. Nobody's going to notice. Okay, so just put that across the top of the card. Doesn't matter that a little bit of it comes off the top. Nobody's going to see this when I put this on the inside of the card. So tape, seal, glue, whatever works for you. You're going to add that to the middle. Now you'll see a little sentiment here. It says, from our house to yours. And you're probably wondering, well, that doesn't look stamped. Where on earth did you get that? That is from the Greetings for You ephemera pack. And this package, you can see I've been using it already. It's amazing. It has so many gold embossed pieces. I think throughout the package, it basically works out to about 6 of each of the different sentiments. There's 6 different sheets. There's 2 of each of the sheets that are identical, but you can see even some of the sentiments carry over from page to page. So at the risk of these kind of falling all over my workspace, you can see there are so many options, and then you don't have to sit here and emboss for hours and hours with the gold. They are stickers if you're interested, and then if you're not, you can just put dimensionals on the back without taking off the backing and basically use them the same way. So I just decided I wanted to grab one of those little ones that's talked about, from our house to yours. I'm going to steal one of these and add that just to the inside of the card. I'm going to use another one on the front of the card too, because I wanted to use these to the max and have a little creative time with them. So there we go. From our house to yours. If you're interested, you don't have to add this part, but I thought it was cute. And it's a great value. You get all of those think for about 13 something, which is fantastic. All right, from our house to yours. Closing this up, now we're going to work on the front of the card. So we're grabbing one more piece of Secrecy. This one is going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we're embossing this with the Timeless Plaid embossing folder. So same color, but you can see once you add it together, it does look like there's a defined border around because we've embossed one piece. So whenever you do something embossed, make sure to go around the entire perimeter with your adhesive. It just gives you more chance for the paper to adhere. Or you could pop this up, but I do have a lot of dimensionals going on the other part of the card, so I didn't really feel the need to pop this layer up too. There we go. Okay. Add that guy to the center. Should be a little border all the way around. Perfect. Okay, next we need those 2 boughs that of course you've got pre-cut and ready to go. There are boughs with a red poinsettia in the center as well, so slightly different color scheme. It's up to you whether you want to mix and match or if you just want the pinks, whatever works for you. Okay, so we're going to put dimensionals on the back of both of those. One of them will rest up against this top edge, kind of just coming down slightly from the top, and this other one is going to come up from the bottom, pretty much an equal distance. They're just opposites of one another. Looking good, looking fun. So the next thing that we're going to grab is our traditional labels bundle. So we're going to use this large shape to cut a gold foil piece. Then we're going to use white with this larger oval right here. And then if you don't have the Greetings for You ephemera, this is a perfect stamp set for you to then use to add a little sentiment to the front of the card. You can stamp with Secrecy if you have that ink, or of course a nice rich real red or old olive would look great as well. So I'm going to start layering those 2 together. I'm going to start first with the gold foil and get it centered onto my card. Now I want my gold foil taller than the boughs. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on top of one another in order to really pop that out. So I've made myself this little diamond inside here. And then I'm going to stack another dimensional on top of each of these 4. And I feel like I've done a lot of stacking of dimensionals lately, but it does give you that extra lift without having to add extra cardstock or layers in your projects. Okay, so we've got those 4. They're good to go. You want this centered as much as possible on your card. So we'll add that gold to the front here. And it looks pretty good for me. Okay, now the reason I haven't added the white yet is A, you guys might be stamping on it, but B, I would like to add a little bit of this shiny real red ribbon. Now I didn't tie a bow with this ribbon. In fact, I'm working kind of with scraps. You'll notice the front side is very vibrant, and then the back side looks very different. It doesn't have the shine, it doesn't even have like the glitter to it. So if I was to make a loop kind of like this, like we usually do, and tuck this underneath, I would have 2 very different ribbons showing through. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually going to cut myself one piece. And sorry, I should have done that one at an angle. You need 2 pieces at an angle. And we are just going to tape these to the back. So it looks like you've kind of done a loop in the back. It looks like you've got a bow, but you have actually both of the shimmery sides showing instead. So nobody's going to see what's back here. So go right ahead and just tuck a piece of tape over those two. Once you get everything else on, if you decide that, oh, that's a little too long for my liking, it's easy to snip. Okay, so you can make them short like mine. This will also look very sharp. So I'm going to use the Greetings for You ephemera. So now I can take my white and pop that up on dimensionals. That's going to go right in the middle of this space. And like I said, it does cover up all of my tape there. Nobody knows it's under. And we'll go with, I don't know, I really liked the 'Tis the Season, but I do think Happy Christmas looks nice too. There's Merry Christmas. There's so many different options, but I'm going to go with Happy Christmas on this one, I think. And some mini dimensionals on the back. It is a sticker, remember, you could put it on flat, but I like dimension. I think it's amazing. All right, this is going in the middle here. And then I did cut from my scrap paper one of these flowers. It is fussy cut, so a little clue and tip with fussy cutting, it doesn't have to be perfect. Make sure to leave white around. It will take your eye away from kind of the evenness of the cutting and draw it more towards the color in the project itself. We're only going to put dimensionals under the flower because the rest of the leaves tend to pop off and we don't want them attaching in a weird way. Okay, so just tuck this under your sentiment. Might have to move it depending on which sentiment you picked. I think I like that to the side there. And then I had to go with some of these great sequins. They are part of the traditions of Christmas Suite. You can choose any of the colors, but I thought the gold really popped in the center of the flower, so that's why I went with these champagne ones. Red would also look nice. There we go. And see, I actually don't mind that these are a little longer. I think I will leave them. That's not bothering me at all. But there we go. I hope you guys enjoy my recreation of page 58. I hope you're going to check out our Traditions and Treasures virtual retreat and sign up because we would love to craft with you. And if you're in Canada, message me because I'd like to get you on my email list so you can see the other classes that I have going on too. But happy stamping, my friends. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and we will see you again next Thursday for another edition of the Great North American Stamping Show. Bye.